Mitzi the German Shepherd and her friend Bleep, a Labrador cross, are completely inseparable. The former guard dogs are both 8 years old and have lived together all their lives. They arrived at Freshfields Animal Sanctuary at Ince Blundell near Southport in January, but staff say they've since had some problems rehoming them. Staff say they're both extremely good-natured dogs and they could live for another 5 or 6 years. They're keen to find an ideal family for them to settle down with. But because they'd be lost without each other, they need an owner who's prepared to take them both on.
David, let's bring you in here. They are former guard dogs. Will that cause a problem for anybody that wants to take the pair of them on?
Well, in this case, I don't think so, because I've only seen them briefly, but their disposition seems to be quite reasonable and they're obviously good friends with each other. I think people have to see it realistically that the trait of the German Shepherd is to make a good guard dog, and if they've been used in that situation, then that will have been brought out in them. But what I see now, I see a reasonably placid pair of animals, but their true colours won't come out for the first few weeks. So anybody who really wants to take them on has to say, well, you know, I'm going to work on these dogs for the first 6 weeks and then see a long-term commitment.
Well, they're obviously craving affection. They jumped up on Tara there. Who would make a suitable owner and who wouldn't?
I think someone with a young family would find it difficult. One dog is enough in certain circumstances, but two would be double the problem. I think it's someone who's perhaps got time on their hands, they're used to handling dogs, they're used to giving them clear signals. This is what these dogs need, as well as loving care and attention. They need sort of very clear signals from their owners, and if they get that and get dependability and some continuity in their lives, then they'll probably make wonderful pets for somebody.
David, are there problems taking very young kittens into your home?
There can be if they've not been properly socialised. The beauty of these three is that they've been born in the rescue centre and they've been very well looked after. So their temperament
They're party animals.
Good.
Look at them. They're having a great time.
They want to play. They've just had a sleep and now they've woken up.
It's quite a responsibility, David, isn't it, if you want to take a complete litter and the mother?
For most people, it's too much of a responsibility, unless they're used to breeding the animals and know how to check out people when they want to rehome them. Young kittens like this that have been properly socialised will make excellent pets. They'll adapt to a family situation very well. It's probably the ones that are born in feral situation or a wild situation that it's difficult, because they're more instinctive and they're less adaptable. These will have been handled in the rescue centre, which means they're socialised. So it's quite important that.
Yeah, indeed. But tonight it's this trio from Manchester Dogs Home who were found abandoned outside a swimming pool baths in Levenshulme, weren't they, Lucy?
And with them is Brian Maltby and Andrea Smith from Manchester Dogs Home and Dr David Sands, our pet psychologist from Chorley, with Megan, who's lovely as well, and she's just been rehomed from Manchester Dogs Home. Welcome to the programme.
David, let's bring you in here. They're quite young, aren't they? A bit of house training is going to be required here. That can be a problem, can't it, in some cases?
Yeah, but I mean, with these, they're at an age now where if they've got plenty of attention and close control, they can be trained fairly straightforwardly. I think it's a problem when it's an older dog that maybe has already developed some behavioural problems.
Well, or if you know, I mean, the older dogs, they bring you all sorts of other pleasures, don't they? I mean, people tend to go for the puppies, but Megan there is lovely, isn't she?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've been with Megan now for about an hour before the show, and she's shown lots of lovely personality, and that's what you'd want to bring out and see in a dog.
Yeah. She's going to make her new owners very happy.
Yeah, I think she's going to be a success story.
Oh, well, we're joined now by Barbara Owen from the RSPCA in Southport and the pet psychologist, Dr David Sands. David, first of all, what will be going through the mind of this goat tonight?
Well, probably, I've had a look at the bale, I've had a look at the water, now where's a field of grass? Where can I go next?
Seems to be quite enjoying these crisps here, actually.
Very happy.
I believe this is something that's developed at the centre.
Right.
He likes a packet of crisps every now and then.
Are they difficult, though?
They can be dominant, they can be very strong, but if somebody handles them very firmly, they can make very faithful pets, very interesting pets.
I mean, would you have to have another goat to go with him?
Well, yeah, they're herd animals, so they do associate well with their own kind. They also need a big area, a grazing field, or...
What about instead of a lawnmower? That's not really on, is it?
Well, they're very selective. I mean, if you've got these lovely daisies or nice dahlias or whatever, they'll go for those before they'll go for the grass. But,
right.
I mean, they are grazing animals. They graze all day long.
Do they mix well with other animals, for instance?
They can do.
Dogs?
I've seen them mix well with dogs, with donkeys, with horses. They're just very strong personalities, particularly males like this. I mean, he's only a young animal.
David, what would you say that you need to be careful of with a goat?
I think that you've got a secure area to keep it, because this one was found as a youngster wandering in the streets of Southport, so obviously you need an area where it can be contained. You need shelter for it for all weathers.
Brilliant.
Are they OK with kids?
They can be.
Bad pun. Sorry.
Barney is a stray and was taken in by Christine, who's a volunteer for the Lancashire Cat Rescue. She's tried everything to pacify this bad boy, but to no avail. Cue Dr. David Sands, who is an animal psychologist.
I think what he's going to need is someone who can be tough with him, someone who can handle him, you know, in a firm way, not necessarily be competitive. Just dictate terms to him instead of him dictating terms to me or someone else.
Well, I'm joined now by Dr. David Sands, who's a pet psychologist, so normally dealing with problem pets as opposed to pampered pets.
Yeah, animal behavioural problems,
OK.
Yes.
Well, David, is there any danger here that we might be overstepping the line and that Henry might actually turn into a problem pet?
Well, judging from how I've seen Henry, he's got quite a good general attitude and is quite well behaved, so obviously the spoiling that's going on here is not affecting his behaviour. If you had a problem pet, then it would be difficult, right, because the messages that you're giving to Henry could be confused.
Right. You actually have a theory about what's going on here, don't you? Which I think is quite funny. Tell us your theory.
Well, it's only a basic theory, but Henry could be loving the alpha female in this relationship. Leslie. And of course, Paul could be the competitive male.
Right.
So some of the advantages that they give to Henry could definitely confuse him.
Are cats as easy to pamper as dogs?
I wouldn't say so, because they're more territorial, they're more independent from us, although he's a kitten, and so he's still looking for the mother in you. I think when it comes to food and tidbits, I mean, in nature, the feral cat or the wild cat would spend 50% of its time hunting and foraging, actually looking for food. So the way to spoil a cat would be to actually make feeding time exciting and get those nice tidbits, the interesting pieces of food, bits of fish, bits of meat, and hide them. Or even, as I said to you earlier, have a little washing line and have the cat look for the food, see if it can find it.
And this is Oscar's bed that he used when he was younger,
yes,
which is actually the same kind of thing, not as decorative as these. But he liked this, didn't he, because he used to snuggle in?
Yes, so as soon as he left his mother, I think he missed the mother cat very much, and that we feel was like a mother substitute, and he used to go in and, you know, paw it and suck the fur. But now he doesn't do that anymore, so presumably he's got over that.
Yes.
But he does use it to hide, and I've got another kitten as well, and they actually hide in there from each other.
It's a real safe haven, like you said, isn't it?
Well, that's confirming it. The behaviour there is same. When the cat's feeling insecure and wants a place to feel secure, then it's going into the den.
All right. OK, well, thanks ever so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Any problems if you are pampering a cat? Do you need to be careful at all?
I think it's important to encourage the cat to be independent, not to be over-dependent on you, because a lot of the benefit from the touching and the stroking is for us.
Yes,
you know, it reduces our heart rate, our blood pressure, and it's a good stress buster for us. It's very helpful, healthy and helpful. But for the cat, sometimes you could encourage it to be insecure and not independent. So it's good to encourage the animal to be independent from us rather than locked into us.
OK, well, thanks ever so much, David. Thank you to you and to Oscar as
you.
well.